installed inside of cells. Anyway, let's write. When the T lymphocyte open, T A G C C C A T G G, wrote like this. Back then, doctors couldn't decode this thing. Now we can decode it. So our human body is composed by cells. Cells are typed as letters. So we thought our body is a chunk of meat, but actually a chunk of letters. Chunk of letters. It is a chunk that the letter represents. Then, is it possible to form letters accidentally or not? It can't form them accidentally. Letters must be made by someone. There are a lot of ethnic majorities in this world. Majority of them have a spoken language, but not the written language. But we have a written language. Why some ethnics don't have a written language? Because they don't make it. Why we have it? Because we made it. Letters must be made by someone. If the letters that can exist only when they made are recorded in single cell of your cell, it seems like we are meaningful presence. By chance, we don't seem to be a random creature, but the letter itself has to be made, and what should be done with that letter, and what should be done with that letter. By planning, we have to build the program that tells us that the modern human cannot make that same program. We just found out how to read. Whoa, this is how it works. We are overwhelmed with the astonishment. We read it. Whoa, it is a built-in awesome program. When we went to the medical school, we didn't know that there was a word called T lymphocyte. And also we didn't know it produced lymphotoxin to kill the cancer cells. Currently, the anti-cancer therapy is developed based on the time when we didn't know this fact. So it's a rudimentary step. When we didn't know that the weed could produce the lymphotoxin in our bodies, when we didn't know about the genetic medicine, the therapies we developed were still being used now. So what do we need to know if modern medicine goes beyond this rudimentary phase? How can we make lymphotoxin much better than the anti-cancer drugs we have made in our human-made pharmaceutical companies? That's the perfect cancer treatment. So we found out a program which, written by letters, produced the lymphotoxin inside of a T lymphocyte. So you are a cell mass in which recorded by the letters. And that cells are not just written by letters. We are trying to read it, and it is programmed by even the smart people can't program. That program is called the immune program, immune system.
그런데 그것이
The
바로 그
kind of
프로그램이
program
무엇이다?
we called
바로
genes.
유전자라고 하는 것이다. 옛날에는
Back then,
유전자는
we thought
무슨 머리카락
genes
색깔이나
could give
사람의
an
키나
effect to
피부
change
색깔이나
hair color,
뭐 이런 거나
height of
몸자
man,
색깔이나 결정해주는
skin color, or
요인이 되는
pupil color.
유전자라고 생각했는데 이제는 알고
All of these
이런
detailed
세포
functions
속에
in
그
these cells.
세밀한 모든
A
기능,
program that is
성질까지도
responsible for the nature of the property is the gene.
그럼
So, what does it mean that the cells are altered? The gene is altered.
이것은 아주
This is a
놀라운
very surprising discovery.
우리 의사들이나
For as long
여러분들이나
as our
오랜
doctors
동안
and you
유전자에
have been
대한
preoccupied
선입견에
with
사로잡혀 있었습니다.
preconceived
그 선입견
notions about genes.
유전자라는
What
것은
is that
절대로
prejudice?
안 변한다.
Genes never changes.
그러니까
So,
유전자가
we didn't know that
변질돼서
the
병이
gene
생겼다는 것은
was
너무나
altered.
놀라워요. 예.
So we had a
유전자가
disease.
변해서 병이 생겼다는
If
걸
you know that
알았으면
a gene has
옛날부터
changed
그
and you have a
유전자를
disease,
고치는
you would have
그런 치료법을
used such a cure to
사용했어요.
fix it.
유전자가
Without knowing
변질돼서
that healing that sick
치료하니까
is gotta get rid of the mass of cancer or the bone with radiation, or we have to kill the cells with medicine.
그런데 유전자는
But
그대로
the gene is not
회복되지
recovering.
않고 있다 이 말입니다. 그러니까
So even
아무리
if you kill them,
아무리
no matter how
성공적인
successful
암
cancer
치료를
treatment
해도
is,
그
you still
유전자가
don't know
변질된
why the
원인을
gene
아직도
was
모르죠.
altered
그리고
and
유전자가
the fact that the
변질됐다는
genes
사실도
are
내가
altered.
어떻게 하다가 살다가
While
보니까
we are living,
내 간
our
세포
liver
유전자 이렇게
cell
변질돼서
gene is so
정상적인
altered
건강한
from the
간
normal
세포가
liver
암
cells
세포로
to
변질이
the
됩니다.
liver
하는 것을
cancer cells.
모르고 치료를
We didn't know that and get treatment.
이제는
This
거의
is 21st century now.
이제는
It's time
유전자
for
의학이
gene medicine
발전하면서
is developing.
이제는 유전자
Now,
의학을
that's
중심으로
where we've come to the
유전자를
focus on
중심으로
our
해서
genes,
우리의 건강을
centering
지키는
on
그런 시대가
gene
왔다.
therapy.
아시겠어요? 굉장히
It's very important.
그래서 지금
So
현재
now, contemporary medical science is focused on gene medicine.
그래서 앞으로의
So
현대
the advances in modern medicine are going toward gene medicine.
그래서 그러니까 우리가
So
왜
why the
유전자가
gene has changed?
그렇죠? 왜
Well,
유전자가
the normal
정상적인
gene worked well until the age of 40
유전자가
and
잘
suddenly
작동을
stopped
하다가
working
왜 유전자가
and can't kill
작동을 안 하더라
the
변질이
cancer
돼서
cells anymore.
암 세포를 더 이상 죽일 수가
Why it happened to me? This is the one that we have to find out first.
그다음에 둘째는 뭐예요?
And what is the second one?
그러면 지금
How can we regain these genes which altered the genes or the stopped working
다시 회복시켜서
so that it can function again?
발휘하게 할 수 있을 것인가? 이것이
This is the answer that we really need to pursue. This is it.
이것이 진짜 새로운
This is the real new health. This is the basic rational way to health.
자, 그러니까
So we have to know genes very well. The gene looks like this. First, the structure of the gene itself is very interesting. It looks like this. Genes always moves like this. It touches slightly, it moves all the way. So the gene is fluid. This kind of fluid situation, we say the gene is turned on. It turns on. It's on and turned off suddenly.
그럼 작동을 하는
then it won't work.
즉 암에 걸렸던
So
사람들은
someone who
이
got
T
cancer is
임파부의 속에
the
임파
gene
독소를
which
생성하는
lymphotoxin
그
inside of
켜져
his T
암
lymphocyte
세포
is on,
생성을
then kill all of cancer cells.
근데 그게 안 되면
And if we can't do that, he will get cancer.
그러니까
So it
유전자의
turns out
원인이
that the gene is the cause of the disease.
그래서
So
유전자
it's not just
건강법이
Dr. Sang Lee's DNA keeping in dream that I created on
그런
my
방법이
own.
아닙니다. 지금
Now,
21세기에
in the 21st century, you know, so many details about these genes, so we know how to get sick.
이제 알았으니까. 그럼
So it's essentially a matter of fact that we need to solve the problem in a gene level.
자, 그럼 글자다.
Letters.
글자다.
Gene is letters.
그래서 이
So
유전자를
process of
다
reading
읽어나가는
this gene
과정,
is
그러한
called
연구 계획을
the
인간
Human
게놈 프로젝트라고
Genome
합니다.
Project.
게놈이란 말은 게놈이 게놈입니다.
Genome is
게놈은
Korean,
유전자를
but English say genome.